Welcome to Geopolitics in Conflict, breaking news.
David, are we witnessing a geopolitical shift in the Caribbean?
You mean
Barbados?
Yes, indeed. Indeed. It looks like things are shifting in Barbados. Whoever thought? Why is that important for you to know? Because the Caribbean is closer to home, to the United
Very
States.
close.
What are we talking about here? Well, we're talking about Barbados is going to have its first elected president, and let alone it's a female. Her name is Dame Sandra Mason. She's a 72-year-old. She's a former judge, and she's going to be the first president elected for Barbados comes November 30th. And November 30th marks the 55th anniversary of independence from Britain. So which means what? No more the Queen is recognized in Barbados. No more the imperialism of Britain in the Caribbean. So that's coming to an end.
And this might signal a whole lot of other changes that might come to the Caribbean.
Well, for sure. This is just the beginning because now, in my opinion, this is going to be like a domino effect, And I won't even be surprised. Maybe it's going to take time. We might even see the same in Australia because remember, the Queen still, Her Majesty in Australia. Well, maybe it's about time for the Aussies to decide what they want, given how their government is messing up that country upside down. I'm sure you are aware of what's going on in Australia, but that's a separate conversation for some other time. So in Barbados now, the idea of that this country is going to have its own president. No more, we fall under the British monarchy. Those days are gone. The Queen is dropped. Basically, Mrs. Mason is going to be replacing Queen Elizabeth. So the era of Queen Elizabeth came to an end. So it's almost like a nail on a coffin on colonialism of Britain and Caribbean. So,
you think it's about time?
It is indeed.
Well, one of the things this might lead to is a free nation can welcome investment from other countries without the Queen's approval.
Oh, yeah. Who cares for that approval anymore? Well, I won't be surprised, Ross, because already China's going to be investing in Cuba.
When I was in Cuba recently, not too recently, but fairly recently, there was already Indian investment there from India. And They were building luxury hotels saying this is going to be a tourist attraction for South America.
Yeah, well, it looks like it's going that direction. So.
Well, does that mean China and Russia could also invest there?
Well, which I see your point, which is common sense, but I'm thinking about it from a different perspective altogether. With Barbados now, doesn't have to worry about Britain anymore because to them, Britain ceased to exist. Doesn't matter. When we see, for example, and this is just a question for you to consider, when we see Russia and China moving their naval assets into Barbados, who's to say? Because that will be closer to home. How the U.S. will react to that. And those are not laughing matters, but those are legitimate questions that we need to understand because that comes with the shift, like we always say, of the global system that is moving from a unipolar into a multipolar.
What can the U.S. say when they've moved all these military assets to Southeast Asia, around China? And what if Russia and China moved their military assets to the Caribbean? I mean, we laugh about it, but this is more than a serious issue.
Exactly, and it becomes the idea of, as I said earlier, it will become like a domino effect. You're going to see some countries now moving into that direction because, and I believe Barbados is well positioned to receive all those investments from other countries, whomever wants to do business there. I am sure the Americans are going to reach out, but it is always that question mark about the intentions of the Americans over there. So I won't be surprised that maybe China's going to get involved. Russia might get involved. Some Latin Americans, who's to say? So we will see some changes coming down.
Well, as we surfaced in one of our shows earlier, China has already made overtures in several Central American countries and some South American countries.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, this one, what makes the case very prevalent when it comes down to Barbados because it's right in the middle, closer to home.
It's close.
Yeah. So that's what makes it like from a geopolitical perspective, that's going to be a key place where that change is going to be displayed, because any change within geopolitical landscape, doesn't matter where in the world, it tends to reverberate everywhere else. So
absolutely,
that is where I see the importance of this announcement, even though we know it's still about November 30th, which means another month from now, a month and a half almost.
Right.
Oh no, a month or so, 5 weeks to be exact. And the British rule in Barbados is to exist. In other words, they want to recognize the Queen anymore as the leader or whatever. So, and that is where some other countries like Australia, even Canada, still recognize Her Majesty, and because you still seeing the dollar, the Canadian dollar,
the Queen
there.
On it, yeah.
Maybe it's about time. Maybe this Queen nonsense stuff has reached a point where we are living in a different world right now. Enough with this nonsense of the monarchy having total control of some parts of the world. Maybe, as we always say, live and let live. It's about time for countries to, live on their own according to whatever system that works for them. Gone those days where you're going to say, live long, the Queen, or whatever. those are nonsense stuff, because here is the thing. Britain has to come to reality with this. To me, this is like the nail in the coffin.
This is long overdue.
Yeah, it's about time.
We're still seeing the shadows of colonialism.
Yeah, well, look no further than Australia, for example.
Exactly.
Or certain parts in Asia, where British, forces were there, or in Africa, certain parts. I mean, even today, you still have the special ops from Britain trained in Ecuador. Yeah. So without going into detail, this is why we have our other platform where we can discuss openly. So we can talk about that stuff here. So, but anyway, it's just the idea of, to me, it's a very, very major shift. To some, I look at it just, they're going to be electing the first president, female president. It is a big deal.
It's a lot more significant than that.
It is.
And it's preview of coming attractions. We can expect a whole lot more of this.
I think so, Ross. It's going to be happening. And you're going to see some other places where British have a rule. I mean, nobody denied that at some point, 18th, 19th century, whatever, British was a power to, be recognized for. Those days are gone.
Right.
And they need to come to terms with reality, and this Queen leadership in those countries, they got to put it to rest. So it looks like Barbados is doing the right thing by moving into that direction. So congratulations to people in Barbados for their own future, shall we say.
And thank you for viewing. Thank you for subscribing. And
well, of course, because remember, guys, to follow us on Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram, and also check out our membership at the geopoliticsandconflict.com. So, yeah, and also we are on Odyssey and Rumble. So, and did we show that picture of the Thank you, Elizabeth, for doing that, because we want to show you the picture of the next president of Barbados. So, and we want, hopefully this will inform you about what's coming down the pipe. And as always, stay informed. Till next time.